Hello, this is the rebooted from Fixed Virus. We're going to make it the CRINK show. So I wanted to, first of all, because it is the CRINK show, I wanted to explain what the heck CRINK is. So we're going to discuss, just bear with me for a second here. So in my book, I discussed on page 9, there are several nation states that make cyber attacks every day around the world: China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran. So if you flip the last two, China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, you make CRINK. So that's the whole idea of this. So I wrote this in 2021, and then later on, I created the. I mean, and other people have done it too. So it's whatever. Who knows who made it first? Doesn't really matter. Anyway, so CRINK: China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. Forgive the outside working people that are cutting the lawn and stuff. Anyway, so I wanted to start with Kyle Bass and his discussion of the. This was a few months ago, but he was discussing the Middle East and various things. So let's just listen in for a second here. So there you go. How our adversaries, China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, CRINK. It's a beautiful thing. I found that. I thought I would share that. And so, what are we going to discuss here? China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. I mean, I understand very well, having created the top 30 security links and keeping up to date with the news of cybersecurity. But I'm going to redo this to the CRINKs and add CRINK to it. We'll do it together, but and I'll give you like a little flavor of what it's going to look like here. Check this video out. So maybe I'll reduce the noise a little bit here. Just a bunch of junk anyway. So let's just watch. Check this drone out. So this drone is basically as big as uh, a Russian man, apparently, because they're working on these drones. They're making them in this factory. So I'm not. I'm just trying to point out that these drones are very, very large, and they're making hundreds, if not thousands, of them in Russia and in Iran. So that's the point. So let's stop. We don't need to watch it anymore. So this is the kind of thing. So I want to make comparisons between China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. What they're doing together. So China, Russia, and Iran are building drones together. So we know that for sure. North Korea actually has troops inside of Russia. Let's just do a quick search. I mean, oh, I didn't even spell it right, but I'm sure it'll fix it. There we go. So we know they're there. Even CNN is talking about it. We don't even need to click on any of these videos and listen to them. We know this is happening. So Russia needs troops. So North Korea is sending troops because they want So this is something I've discussed multiple times, but North Korea is a communist dictatorship. So they control their population to the nth degree. So if they need money because they've been sanctioned to death, how do they get money? Well, one way to get money is to steal with cybersecurity, which is why I've discussed that many times. But this is another way to get money. You get money by giving some of your soldiers to letting them fight in the Russian war. So that's another way to do things. So that's an interesting aspect. So that's North Korea. North Korea is like the weakest of the four of them, but it still has its value to all of them. So sometimes when they want something nefarious done, they let the North Koreans do it. For one thing, everyone should be aware of North Korean um, hiring fake job fake. Let's see what happens when you search like that. I should have maybe typed it a little different. So you know that if you're hiring um, IT employees online, you are very likely to get a North Korean that will be that will want to work for you. So hundreds of North Korean identities. So they've been FBI has found these people. They they're North Korean soldiers that want to infiltrate Western corporations. This is kind of what this new reboot of my 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 channel is going to be, this CRINK. I want to discuss what all four of these entities are doing to harass us, to do things that they shouldn't be doing. This is what I want to discuss, because apparently just discussing cybersecurity and the bland how you defend yourself, I don't present that in a manner that people want to listen to. So anyway, so I want people to give me feedback. What is it that you want to see? So okay, so we discussed Iran, discussed Russia a little bit, and then we discussed um, North Korea. North Korea with the attack, the as they go into our companies. So okay, let's discuss China. So China, I've discussed China multiple times in my blog posts in the past. Here, I'll show you. I'll do a search or two here. So China unit 6.1, and that's all. I'll just leave it at that. So here we go. So how did China unit 61398 attack us? So this is 5 FBI wanted people that have done specific items that have been indicted. In fact, some of them are in jail, but anyway, this is from like a few years ago, and as we learn more about what they're doing. So what are they doing? So they're developing APTs they're working against us to attack us in our critical industries. So, manufacturing, energy, materials, and union. From 2006 to 2014, they've been doing this. So the initial compromise, anyway. So all right. So I always thought that it was interesting what's happening with the Chinese and the Russians. But interestingly enough, this is the number one way for you to get a hack: is spear phishing. So make sure to learn what that is. So interestingly, though, they also spearfish the Russians because why not? They want to steal stuff from them too. So it has happened in the past. China spear phishing Russia. Oh, there we go. Did you mean that's good? So, they're using new techniques. China using AI to disseminate this information, but they're also doing it inside of Russia. So they're both like attacking each other. And if you notice, look at this. Here's the four countries. That's why I'm doing this new reboot of the channel. Yes. Oh, there we go. I found one. Let's see what it says here. I'm gonna turn it down. He's let's turn this on. I don't really want to listen to this guy. He's been hacking Russia. Okay. So I wonder if there's any. This is kind of what I like to do anyway. I like to when I look at a um, video, I like to make look at the whole thing before I tend to listen to it. So China hacks everyone, including themselves. That's what this guy says. I like to also look at the comments. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so yes, obviously we found somebody that talked about it, some aspect of it. Well, maybe that's not really that's so good to discuss right now. So anyway, let's um, let's do something different. Let's talk the actual war right now. Let me put this in the back. So check this out. Okay, here's what we all are thinking about and discussing right now: is the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf. I found this picture or this image from an older image that discussed what the pre-sanctions international oil company operations in Iran by the Fuse. So that's interesting to me. That was interesting. So um, doesn't say what year on the image, and I didn't really look elsewhere. So I'm sure it's several years old. Well, it's pre-sanctions, so it's got to be several years old. Maybe it's from the 80s and the 90s. I don't know. Anyway, so we're probably talking way before all this kind of a conflict between the U.S. and Iran got a little hotter. So if you notice, these are all of the companies that are interested or had operations in Iran. Look, Karg Island was Shell. was on there. Royal Dutch Shell. I mean, it's just called Shell now. So that might tell us a little bit, how long ago it was. But if you look at this, Gazprom, that's a Russian company. Luke Oil, that's a Russian company. Petronas. And look at this, China National Petroleum. Sinopec, I think that's also Chinese. So look at all these Chinese drills or some kind of operation by Abbas and Desbul and here and this oil field. So I also like to look at the actual oil fields. Check this out: oil field, gas field. Well, I guess that the green is the oil field. This like reddish tannish color, I don't know, is I'm horrible with colors, so I apologize for that. But if you check that out, you see that those are gas fields. And, I mean, these things have changed over the decades, but it's good to know where they were. And that's where, like, uh, operations are going on, what things are that used to happen. That's why I like to look at these older maps. And look, there's a refinery right by Strait of Hormuz in Bandar Abbas. I mean, more than likely, you're not going to like destroy a refinery unless it got destroyed in one of the wars or whatever. But Shiraz has a refinery. There's a refinery on this island. So when I heard um, that the Marines were coming in near the area, I was thinking that there's a possibility they could take Karg Island or some of these other islands that have heavy machinery. And so here we go. I mean, the bottom line is uh, the Pentagon knows about all this stuff, and they have an updated uh, map. So I like to look at these older ones just to give me a little bit of an idea of what's going on. So, and I think what they were saying too, that Oman had lost some of their islands to Iran. If you notice, this um, line is where all of the shipping goes through. That's in the middle of it's like this whole line is, I think, about 6 nautical miles, 6 to 8, I think. That's basically what you have to navigate to get out of the Persian Gulf and into the Gulf of Oman. So that's the dangerous area. That's where we need to. That's what everybody's worried about, and if a ship gets hit and all that jazz. And that's basically what the Navy would have to protect if they're going to do some patrolling or something together, or protecting these humongous tankers. So even if you like protect these huge tankers, I mean they're so large, it's so easy to hit them. So they definitely will require some new technologies. Anyway, so just an FYI, I will remind you that these Doberman, I created this image using AI. I had the Hydra, the three-headed Hydra image, and I told the AI to create the Doberman heads on instead of the three heads of the Hydra. So that's like instead of Cerberus, it's like a Doberus. It's just got a little bit of fun here to create a defensive, instead of like an evil three-headed Hydra, which some stories call it an evil. I wanted to create like a defensive Doberus. Anyway, so that's what we need to use to defend ourselves. So here's the. Okay. Anyway, that's also a continental shelf boundary, but boundary seems to be where all the um, where all the shipping needs to go through too. It's kind of interesting. I guess that kind of makes sense. We're probably where the lowest level is. Anyway, so I thought this was like an interesting aspect of Iran and the conflict, the current conflict between the U.S. and Iran. So let's go back. Let's put this on the bottom, and let me show you like an older image that I created. Why learn about the bad guys? I also have my Too Late You're Hacked guidebook. I have a guidebook. This is only about um, 42 pages. I'm gonna put them on eBay soon. I'll put the link on. And this is my book, Too Late You're Hacked. You could support me by buying my merchandise, I guess. If I would appreciate it if somebody did that. That way, at least I know I'm going in the right direction with this new aspect of showing CRINK, China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. So when I created this image, I guess the North Korea was the guy who I actually had somebody help me with this, and he just didn't want to put the North Korean flag on here, so he just created like a hoodie because they were the hackers. You know, they're the hackers of they're the pure hackers. That's the bottom line. Yeah, and I have a machine gun, the Browning machine gun T-shirt. It's basically the Browning brothers. It's kind of a nice little T-shirt. So I'm not selling that. That's just something that I have. Because you know I'm into World War II history and World War One history. The Browning machine gun is very big in World War II for the United States. So what else? So CRINK, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. How do they work together? So they're building stuff for each other. They are supporting them with soldiers. China had people in China in Iran. This That's true. I wanted to play that. Wonder if I can find that real fast. So China and Iran. I wonder. Um, I like. I wonder if I spelled her name right. The There's a Chinese lady who lives in America now. She reads and uh, writes. I'm sure she speaks Chinese. So she had created this uh, a channel of hers. She talks about the Chinese being in Iran, and she basically talks about the rumors that are going on in China. She reads all their information and stuff. And if you notice that this is the same kind of themes that she has. She knew that there was Chinese scientists that were in in Iran that were unfortunately killed. You know, I mean, I'm not Chinese. I'm not pro China, but I'm not gonna, be happy of other people dying. So I'm just going to, hey, the American strikes, unfortunately, were killing some people. So that's what happens sometimes in war. So if you got your troops, your not troops, but your scientists. So I guess some people have said that China wasn't supposed to have people in Iran. So, but apparently they did. So that's kind of interesting to me. This is what came up with. Let's just let's just change it to this, and let's see if that changes the what. Because I wanted to see the a more recent video of hers. Now let's just change it to. I think let's just go to her channel. She also has some specific other she has another channel which she does some music and stuff like that. So okay, here we go. It's an interest. She has some interesting rumors from inside of China. Uh, anyway, let's just take a quick look at this one, and then I think we'll call it a day. How long is this so far? I want to make it for at least 10 minutes or so. Okay. Oh, it's 26 minutes already. Oh well, I went overboard. But anyway, so yeah, the Chinese are going into Vietnam, and apparently they brought a much larger delegation than normal. They also brought their security chief in. Normally, you just bring your foreign minister and some other state minister, but now they also brought the basically like the head of the FBI in there or something like that, the head of the CIA or some. I'm not really that up on the Chinese structures, so because you have to be careful with equating uh, leaders of the United States and the leaders in China because China has a completely different structure. So anyway, I guess that's probably good enough for today. I wanted to just to review. I want to let you know that I'm going to have a different focus from now on. It's not going to be purely on cybersecurity. We're going to talk about cybersecurity, but not to the detailed level. I'm going to be talking more about the combination of China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, CRINK. And I will be creating things to highlight all that. And just like I created stuff in the past, this is going to be more CRINK oriented. And if you noticed, there was a lot of CRINK in here today. So we'll just go from there and we'll see how things go. Let me know if you like this new format, or or let me know if you don't like it. I would like to know about what your thoughts are. So thank you. That's my bumper music, by the way. And I have these two sticks. It's it's that way. I'm not like messing up the copyright of somebody else. No, nobody can copyright sticks hitting each other, right? I hope not. Anyway, well, till next time.